If you've been accused of a crime, one of the biggest decisions you're going to make is who you trust to defend you. And when lawyers talk about experience, I think it's important to explain what that actually means. I'm Ted McClintock. I'm a criminal defense attorney here in Colorado Springs, and I've spent more than 30 years working in criminal law. My connection to this community goes back much further than that. I graduated from Widefield High School right here in Colorado Springs. This is my community. I started my legal career here on the other side of the courtroom, working for the district attorney's office for about 6 years. During that time, I prosecuted everything from DUIs and misdemeanor domestic violence cases all the way up to some of the most serious criminal cases we have. I handled many murder cases. I became a supervisor in the county court domestic violence unit. I was then promoted to be in charge of the vehicular homicide unit for the district attorney's office, and then became a team leader of the special victims unit here in Colorado Springs. Those years taught me something that I still use every single day as a criminal defense attorney: how prosecutors think, how police investigations develop, how charging decisions are made, what prosecutors consider important evidence, and just as importantly, where criminal cases can go wrong. After leaving the DA's office, I became a criminal defense attorney, and I've now spent more than 25 years defending people accused of crimes. Over that time, I've handled cases, again, ranging from DUI and misdemeanor charges to domestic violence, sexual assault allegations, serious violent felonies, attempted murder, and homicide. I've also handled a number of significant and highly publicized cases. One of those, what was to become known as the Colorado Make My Day case. My client was charged in connection with a killing that occurred outside of his home while the person was driving away. We took that case to trial, and the jury acquitted him of all charges. The verdict received national attention and became part of the discussion surrounding Colorado's Make My Day law. But there's something more important. I want people to understand. Experience isn't important because it gives a lawyer stories to tell. It's important because after decades of handling criminal cases, you begin to recognize things that aren't always obvious when you first read a police report. And that's something I talk about frequently in the videos and articles we put out here. A police report is not the truth. It's one version of what someone believes happened. An accusation is not proof. A confession isn't necessarily the end of a case. And because the police say they have evidence doesn't necessarily mean they do. Police can use deception. Witnesses can be mistaken. People can exaggerate. People can make false allegations. Evidence can contradict what someone has said. And sometimes investigators develop a theory early on in the case and then interpret everything that follows with that theory. That's why one of the things that is extremely important to us is looking at the actual evidence, not assumptions, not labels, not simply what somebody was charged with. What does the evidence really show? What do the text messages show? What does the video show? What do the witnesses actually say? Are their statements consistent? Does the physical evidence support the allegation? Were your constitutional rights violated? And can the prosecution actually prove every element of the crime beyond a reasonable doubt? That's what criminal defense is supposed to be about. I've also seen what being accused of a crime does to people. Sometimes when somebody calls us, they're thinking about whether or not they're going to jail. But very quickly you realize they're worried about much more than that. They're worried about their job, their reputation, their marriage, their children, their professional licenses, their future. And in some cases, they're terrified that one accusation is going to change the rest of their life. Those concerns are real. Whether someone is facing a misdemeanor domestic violence case or a serious felony that could carry decades in prison, to that person, their case is the most important thing happening in their life. We understand that. That's also why I believe getting involved early can matter. Sometimes the best defense work happens long before a jury ever enters a courtroom. It may involve stopping somebody from giving a damaging statement, preserving evidence before it's lost, finding witnesses, reviewing text messages or digital evidence, challenging illegal searches, exposing inconsistencies, or showing a prosecutor that the case is not what it actually appeared to be. And sometimes, despite all of that, a case needs to go to trial. When that happens, you want an attorney who is comfortable standing in a courtroom and trying serious criminal cases. I've spent more than 3 decades doing this, first as a prosecutor, and for more than 25 years as a criminal defense attorney. I've handled cases on both sides of the courtroom, from misdemeanor offenses to murder cases. And after all of these years, one thing hasn't changed. Every case deserves to be investigated, every piece of important evidence deserves to be examined, and every person accused of a crime deserves a defense, based on the facts, not assumptions. If you or someone you care about has been accused of a crime in Colorado Springs or anywhere in Colorado, you can contact us at coloradocriminaldefense.com. I'm Ted McClintock. Thanks for watching.